Hey guys, Scott Owens here with Mimosa Research. Have a super exciting pistol to show to you today. This is the Kimber USMC Detachment One 1911, chambered in 45 ACP. Sometimes this is referred to as the ICQB pistol, or the Interim Close Quarters Battle Pistol, or the MCSOCOM pistol. This was specifically built to fulfill the needs of the United States Marine Corps Detachment One unit formed in 2003. This unit was typically referred to as DET-ONE. Before we get into this firearm, I want to give a brief overview of DET-ONE's history. DET-ONE was USMC's 2003 pilot program for attaching a permanent unit of the USMC to the United States Special Operations Command, USSOCOM. After certification and training, the unit deployed to Iraq in 2004, where they worked alongside Navy SEALs, Army Special Forces groups, and others to perform many important missions. This unit was disbanded in 2006, but due to its extraordinary success, it paved the way for the permanent United States Marine Forces Special Operations Command, or MARSOC. And of course, we'll know MARSOC through the M45A1 program. So in a way, this was really the predecessor. DET-ONE's heritage can be traced back to the World War II Marine Raiders, which also performed many key missions during that war. In fact, the DET-ONE insignia incorporates the United States Marine Raiders stiletto and the Raiders insignia as a tribute and link to the World War II Marine Raiders. There are a lot of good resources on the web to learn more about the DET-ONE unit, but there's a great book titled DET-ONE, U.S. Marine Corps, U.S. Special Operations Command Detachment 2003 to 2006 by Lieutenant Colonel John P. Piedmont that I would suggest picking up. And here we have an example of that book. It's a great resource. Now on to this unique gun. The USMC DET-ONE 1911 was Kimber's answer for the needs of this newly formed unit. According to Edward Meadows' U.S. Military Automatic Pistols 1945 to 2012 book, a sole source contract was awarded to Kimber for 200 1911s. The Meadows book states this was a 2005 contract. However, Kimber's records indicate that purchase was made in 2003. That makes a little bit more sense since the unit itself was formed in 2003. The Vickers Guide 1911 Volume 1 also has several pages of pictures and information on this 1911. Larry Vickers notes in his book that the 200 contract guns were eventually destroyed by the USMC due to the fact that they were obtained through a non-standard weapons procurement. It's believed that serial number DET-ONE-001 is stored away in the USMC inventory though. Out of the box, these 1911s have been observed with either Trijicon or Novak low-mount sights and also features an extended thumb safety. Checkered flat mainspring housing with lanyard ring. Front and rear slide serrations. Checkered rubber grips and a 7-round magazine. Unlike Kimber's standard production pistols, the DET-ONE model did not have a firing pin safety. Upon the unit's receipt of these 1911s, Meadows' book notes that most were retrofitted with an Ed Brown memory grip safety, Wilson's 7-shot combat magazine, Simonich gunner grips in Coyote Brown, and a Dawson rail for a surefire weapon light. There have also been 2 barrel covers observed, a polished finished as well as a black. Quick side note, Kimber was also awarded the LAPD SWAT contract around the same time. So the LAPD SWAT and the DET-ONE Kimber 1911s are very similar and based on the same platform, with the exception of their unique markings. Now on to the other markings. Each gun had a unique serial number on the right side of the frame, beginning with DET-ONE, and then a dash, and a serial number that goes from 001 all the way up to 347. Note that this one is 345. The last 3 digits of the serial number are also electro-penciled under the slide. In addition to the unique serial number, the Kimber DET-ONE 1911 is believed to be the only military sidearm to wear the U.S. military property USMC markings, which are displayed on the right side of the frame as well. I will give you a close-up of those. You can see right there, U.S. military property, USMC. This makes it a really unique piece. There are no markings on the left side of the frame, but the left side of the slide displays the Kimber logo. While the Kimber plastic case was their standard case at the time, the labels on the box are unique. The sticker on the left displays the letters USMC with the UPC code, and the sticker on the right displays the unique serial number with a barcode. The contents of the box just include the typical Kimber inserts, manual, blue bag, etc. You might be wondering how this particular gun made its way into the wild. According to Kimber Records and Meadows' book, 147 additional guns were manufactured for members of DET-ONE to purchase for themselves. Larry Vickers stated in his book that he played a big role in the additional guns being available to DET-ONE members to purchase. We know that people with connections to DET-ONE members may have also had an opportunity to buy one of these 147 additional 1911s. It's nice to be connected. This particular example featured is serial number DET-ONE-345. According to Kimber's records, this one was made on April 6, 2006, and was one of the 147 built for individual DET-ONE member purchasing. Serial DET-ONE-345 was shipped to Jerry's Pawn and Shooting Supplies in Fayetteville, North Carolina on May 22, 2006 for an individual purchase. We have a good idea of who the original owner of this 1911 was, and they were not a member of DET-ONE. However, they have a connection to Larry Vickers, so they were able to secure one. With there being so few, they don't come up for sale often. Rock Island Auction has sold 3 in the last few years with an average realized price of just under $14,000 per gun. Just based on the quantity of these out in the wild and the fact that the USMC destroyed the original 200 contract guns, it might have been 199 since they still have 001 possibly in USMC possession, that makes this a rare piece that should only increase in value and collectability over time. Let's do some marking comparisons between the DET-ONE and the LAPD SWAT gun, since they are very close to the same in terms of the platform that they are based upon. And also, just a quick note, the LAPD SWAT gun that I have here is actually the one pictured in the Larry Vickers guide, pages 403, 404, and 405. And here's the letter on the LAPD SWAT gun. We'll do a separate video on that, but kind of fun to see the differences here. All right, looking at the differences in roll marks, again, I'm using my tactical Sharpie, which is actually a carbon fiber core. It's not an actual marker, so don't panic as I'm touching these. I'm merely using this as a pointing device. Both of them have the Kimber Yonkers, New York, USA roll mark. The DET-ONE has the additional U.S. military property, USMC, on the front of the dust cover here. The LAPD SWAT has this LAPD SWAT Custom 2 that is roll marked on the slide itself versus nothing on the DET-ONE. There is no lanyard loop on the mainspring housing. They are, however, both checkered nicely. Looks like the checkering is slightly different here. This one is fully checkered, and this one appears to be checkered with stripes going down the middle, but not all the way to the sides. Looking at the serial numbers, I have DET-ONE dash and then 3 significant digits after the dash. The serial number for the LAPD SWAT has K for Kimber, LA, and then 114, which is the call sign specifically for SWAT, followed by 3 significant digits, in this case 421. One other thing I will note, looking at these two in person, we have a Trijicon night sight here versus more of a ramped sight on this one. It does have tritium sight tubes, so they are night sights, but they are not marked with the manufacturer. All right, that was our in-depth look at the Kimber DET-ONE Special, specifically made for USMC, with 147 made after the original contract that were available to purchase through either members of DET-ONE themselves or people who were connected with the program. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and I hope I've earned your subscription. Please look for my other videos on M45A1s, M17s, and other military and modern small arms. See you next time.